welcome back. My name is Danae Wolf. I'm a financial literacy coach and a profit strategist, which means that I help ambitious entrepreneurs like you increase your profits and decrease your stress. And I do that by going live every week teaching you guys financial literacy. I believe that financial education can not only change your company, but it can change your life. Now, if you are here live with me, let me know in the comments. Let me know where you're from and let me know what kinds of business you have. If you're catching the replay, also let me know that in the comments. Full disclosure, guys, I need you to engage with this video as much as possible so that the algorithm gods show this video to as many entrepreneurs as possible, because I truly believe that knowledge is power and we want to share that power. Now, today I am super excited to be talking to you guys about 3 ways to increase your profits and put an end to this normalization of debt. Because it seems like these days, debt is everywhere, okay? People are literally thousands and thousands of dollars in debt with student loans. We've got mortgage debt, we've got car debt. Then let's not forget about those credit cards, right? People seriously rack up thousands of dollars on credit cards. And before you know it, you really find yourself in this situation where you're thinking, how the heck am I going to get out from under all of this, right? And I think one of the scams that we really just hear a lot, and it's kind of being jammed down our throats, is this idea that if you want to get out of debt, you need to stop spending on these simple pleasures, right? What do we hear all the time? Skip your morning latte, right? Stop going out to dinner. And for me, if I don't have my morning beverage, I'm literally useless, right? I'm literally useless. And I think we have to honestly completely change our mindset around this. Rather than putting all of these restrictions on ourselves and really looking at everything as having a limit, let's change our minds and think about how can we grow, right? Let's not think about restricting. Let's think about growth, because I can tell you it is much easier to make more money than it is to spend less. You can literally add an additional $50,000 to your income with ease, right? That's something that to me is a better use of your energy, rather than sitting here thinking, how can I live without my morning coffee? Or maybe I should skip my vacation this year, or maybe I should not go out to dinner. Now, I'm not saying that you should be frivolous, right? I don't want anybody to be frivolous. I always want us to make smart financial decisions. But I am asking you to reframe your mindset behind this. And if you are in a situation where you're in debt, I really want you to think, how can I make more money? Rather than thinking through the lens of how can I spend less. This simple shift in the question that we're asking ourselves, it literally makes your brain start searching for the solution, right? So when we ask, how can we save money and spend less? Our brain is now looking for ways to cut, right? When we ask, how can we make more money? Our brain is now wired and searching for growth. And that is really where I always want your mind to be, because as an entrepreneur, if you're not growing, you're slowly dying. So it's really important that we're being really intentional with where we're spending our time. And it is a way better use of your time to spend it figuring out how to increase your income, rather than spending it figuring out how to reduce what you're spending by getting rid of these simple joys in your life. So today I'm going to give you 3 strategies that are going to help you increase your income. Now, step number 1 is to increase your rates. I know that this is one that can be really scary to do. I get it. But honestly, if you are a coach or if you have a service-based business, such as a beauty business, or maybe you have a cleaning business, and you haven't raised your rates in a while, you're really doing yourself a disservice. Now, I'm not saying to just go out there and raise your rates for no reason at all or without having any data to back it up, right? But honestly, there has never been a better time to raise your prices, okay? All of the big companies are doing it. So why can't you? If you have a cleaning company, okay, I want you guys to listen to this scenario. If you have a cleaning company and you raise your rates by $5 per hour and you have 10 cleaners cleaning 5 hours per day, that's an extra $65,000 a year in top line revenue. Now, if you're a coach or a course creator and you were to literally double the price of your program, right? And I know when I say double, people get really freaked out and they're like, oh, nobody's going to buy. But here's what I want you to realize. If you doubled the price, you only need half the amount of people to buy it. So really, you can afford to sell less of them. And here's what happens in our coaching programs and in our courses when we're able to go more high ticket and sell less of them. We are actually able to give better service. We can better serve the people in our programs because now we're able to do high value and a lower quantity, right? That quality versus quantity, we're able to balance it out. And this was something that was a huge step in my entrepreneurial journey in 2022. We took a course, transformed it into a group coaching program, and I cannot believe I didn't do it sooner, because what we're able to deliver to the students in our academy is incredible. It's above and beyond what I was able to do with the course, because with it being low ticket, there were just too many people in there for me to be able to have these face-to-face consults with people. So I strongly encourage you to look at your business and first of all say, okay, when was the last time I raised rates? If you literally raised rates a month ago, don't raise them again, right? Let's think logically here. But if you have not raised them in a while, that is the first thing that I want you to do. But I want you to make sure there is a justification, right? So we always want to know, well, what is the enhancement? What is the difference? What am I doing for my customer? Because one thing when it comes to business, guys, right? The only time that a deal is ever going to work is it's got to be mutually beneficial, right? It's got to be a win-win. So yeah, you're going to make more money, but if the client's going to pay more, what are they going to get, right? And these can really be simple things. It's not something that you have to overthink or get too much in your head about, but just making sure that you've got a value enhancement to go along with that price bump. Now, the second thing I want you guys to do to increase your income is go get a new client, okay? This is something that I think oftentimes gets lost in the entrepreneurial community because we are so busy, okay? We're so busy wearing all the hats, doing all the things. You know, we're HR, we're payroll, we're marketing, we're all the things, right? And a lot of times the sales gets forgotten or it gets outsourced and we're not really sitting down to pay attention to that person's numbers. I just had a situation with a client recently. She's got a very successful cleaning company and she had a sales manager. And when we actually dove in and looked at the data, that sales manager, and if you guys are listening on the podcast, and I'm doing air quotes here with that sales manager who was carrying that title, she was not selling. She was literally answering phones that were coming in. She was not generating the phone call to come in. She was just answering calls and booking it. So that's not sales, right? And it's really important as an entrepreneur that you understand the various departments that are necessities to run a successful company. And one of the most important divisions of your company is sales. Now, I'm a work in progress, guys, right? Full disclosure, I'm going through these things in real time as I come in and talk to you guys about it. And sales has been a really weak spot in my company. I didn't have anybody in charge of it. I really came from literally came from a place of if you build it, they will come. And me just thinking like, oh, I'll just continue to show up and deliver value for free and eventually people will come. And yes, I'm very thankful and fortunate and that's happened and you guys definitely support me. But when I took a different approach, instead of thinking, oh, if I build it, they will come, and started thinking, okay, I'm going to build it, some will come, the rest, I've got to go out and get, right? I've got to go fishing. And this was a huge mindset shift for me. And first it was overwhelming, but it actually has turned into me feeling empowered because I feel like I have strategies in place that I now know how to get out there and get a new client. So my challenge to you is to look at the sales in your business, look at the process and say, do you have confidence in your process that you know right now, if you wanted to, you could sit down, follow your strategy and get a new client? If you don't have that, if you don't have that process in place, you need to get it because sales is what keeps your business alive. Remember what I said, if you are not growing, you are slowly dying. Now, the third strategy to increase your income this year is to cut your operating expenses, okay? You need to be looking at your numbers. Guys, I say this all the time, all right? Your numbers tell the story of your business. The question is, are you reading the story? Are you reading the book? Are you paying attention to what the numbers are telling you? Now, if you are working with a bookkeeper, you should be getting a profit and loss from him or her every month. What I want you guys to do is ask them to actually give you what's called a detailed profit and loss. And what that's simply going to do is, let's say you have a category on your profit and loss that says office supplies. When you get the detail report, you're actually going to see an itemized list of all of the expenses that created that office supplies total expense. And the reason why I love for entrepreneurs to look at this report is because you are able to quickly scan it and see where the mistakes are, right? You will look at this report and you might be horrified to see how much money you spent on a certain software or how much money you spent on a certain payroll item, right? You have to look at an itemized list of everything you spent in your business so that you can be aware, okay? We always want to be aware. We always want to be aware, okay? Knowledge is power. So I need you guys to be looking at every transaction that happens in your business. Now, if you're not working with a bookkeeper, right, don't stress, but shameless plug, we are taking on new clients. You can shoot me a DM at The Chic CFO or just drop it in the comments and I'll reach out to you. But if you don't have anybody managing the numbers in your business, here's what you're going to do, okay? Super simple. You're going to print out your bank statement, okay? This does not need to be this big, like, dramatic thing. I'm telling you, print it out. You can, after your kids go to bed, pour your glass of wine. You're just going to sit down on your couch and read it. That's all. Just read it. Just read it. If any, grab a highlighter. If anything stands out at you that you're like, whoa, right? If anything jumps off the page at you as a shock, right? As a surprise, highlight it, right? And then any of those highlighted items, those are things that you want to start attacking. I cannot tell you how many times I go through this with clients and they're like, oh my God, I don't even use that software. I thought I canceled it 6 months ago, right? Or we just had a recent meeting and the client actually started crying because she was in total shock by how much she had been investing in a certain item on her P&L. She had no idea that she had actually spent that much money in 2022 on a particular line item. So there's so much information sitting in your financial transactions. So much. Everything you need to know about what's going on in your business is in these statements. What do I always say to you guys? If you don't know what's going on in your bank account, you don't know what's going on in your business, right? And we need to know what's going on in our business so that we can actually make smart, strategic decisions. So to recap it, guys, the first thing that you're going to do in order to increase your income for 2023, we're going to raise our rates, right? Now, if you've already raised your rates, power to you. That's great. But if you have not, I want you to raise your rates, and I want you to make sure that you are able to package it up with also a value enhancement for your clients. The second thing you're going to do is get out there and get a new client, right? I want you to make sure that you have a defined sales process in your company. You should know that at any point in time, you have got a process that you can follow that works, and you can get a client just like that by snapping your fingers, all right? And then the final thing that I want you guys to do is look at your expenses, okay? Get the profit and loss detail report from your finance pro. If you don't have one, let me know. I'd love to work with you. Or go ahead and print out your bank statement. Read through every transaction and figure out where you can make the cuts. And some of these cuts, guys, they're going to be really easy because you're going to be like, shit, I didn't even realize I was paying for that. So it's basically free money when you just start looking at everything and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that I had been doing that. I've had that happen just even in my personal life where I'm like, wait, why am I paying for Hulu? Like, I'm not using it, right? So you have to go through and look at these numbers. It's going to help you make smarter decisions, and it's going to help you make more money, which is why we all got into this entrepreneurial game in the first place. Now, if you guys enjoyed today's video, do me a favor, please share it with any of your entrepreneurial friends that you think would enjoy it. I want to spread the word of this free information to as many business owners as possible. Like I always say, I believe knowledge is power, and we want to share that power. If you guys have any questions about any of the things I talked about today, go ahead and drop them in the comments, or you can totally shoot me a DM. I am the Chic CFO over on Instagram. You can also just reach out to me at Danae Wolf right here on Facebook. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you soon. Bye.